Island Real Estate. My dear friend Liz Duenas from Remax Diamond Realty Guam is here. And if you, Liz, have a income source whereby you rent to military and everything like that, there's some actual pretty big sweeping changes that are now in effect that people have to know about.
Yeah, there are some changes. I just came from a Guam Association of Realtors board meeting, and they were saying that the military housing, so for example, if you had a rental, there's a number of things that the military require. Of course, there are forms that have to be submitted, detailed rental forms. So there's new forms for 2017. They require a business license. They want a copy of it. So in the past, they haven't requested for that, but now if you want to rent to a military tenant, the housing office will require a copy of your business license.
And I would think for most people, they'd be like, oh, I need a business license first.
Well, of course, you do need a business license to pay GRTs to the government.
Sure.
But we've never had to submit a copy of that to the military office. Now we do. So there are a number of things that they're requiring. They're requiring, of course, part of the process is they have to do an inspection. If you meet their inspection requirements, then they'll pass you. They've been rather stringent. Of course, it's for the protection of the tenant, and their objective is to protect the military tenant. So there are a number of things. Your business license, your home has to meet all government codes, so they would require a carbon monoxide detector. We don't have natural gas, however, because it is a federal requirement, we have to comply. We don't have a choice in that particular matter. So you'd have to have one in the main part of the house. If you have a garage, you should also have a carbon monoxide detector in the garage. Of course, a smoke detector in every room. They require a GFI switch. Those are those little switches near the kitchen sink that you see. So if something goes wrong, it automatically shuts the electrical circuit off for that particular
GWA like turns off your water and then turns it on. Like we get that certain burst when it comes back on.
But I mean, if it does,
my pipe burst for that very reason.
It's for safety.
Yeah.
So if it flips, of course, there's a little red button that you push and then it turns it on. So you need one near your kitchen sink. There's government requirements that have it there. However, with the housing, they want it within 6 feet where there's a water source. So underneath normally there isn't a GFI switch there, not that I'm aware of, but if you, underneath your sink where you have your garbage disposal and your dishwasher, they require that a GFI switch be installed there. So anything within 6 feet of a water, your washer dryer, in that vicinity, they do want a GFI switch there. One of the other things they require is like your windows. They require that every window has a screen, that it has a screen.
So even if you got a sliding glass window, you still have to have a protective screen.
You have to have a screen. So if for some reason you're missing it, you're going to fail. You're going to fail your inspection. So if for some reason you're in a condo or an apartment that's 20 stories high, even if you have no access to the exterior side of that window and it is not designed to have a screen, you still have to have a screen. So you may, and I know of some cases where they've actually had to fabricate a screen to sit outside, and then we've had some cases where they had to actually fabricate something and they'll accept it even if you have to install an interior screen. So it's
just to meet the requirements.
Just to meet the requirements. Now, again, it's for the protection of the tenant, and they want to make sure we meet all those guidelines. Again, otherwise you would fail. So one of the other things they require is what is it? For fires, your
extinguisher.
Extinguisher, yeah. And by the way, it has to be certified. You can't just go buy an extinguisher, put it in there, or get an old one because they check it. They actually check your smoke detectors. So they have either they put a spray or they have an extension that they tap it just to see if the smoke alarm goes off.
Well, this is the U.S. military we're talking about.
Yes.
Everything's based on demerits.
Yes.
And, if you don't get it,
And if it doesn't go
no
off
room.
or you're missing a battery, you have to install all of that.
Now, of course, these are changes that have now been codified and they are required. How long do local landlords have to put that in? Because we're at the end of the year now.
Well, some of these guidelines have already been in place, but now they're just making sure that we meet all of them. and you do have to make sure your house is ready or your apartment is ready prior to their inspection, because if they come and they found there's a deficiency, then they'd have to come back to re-inspect. And if you have a tenant standing by waiting to move in, you got to act quickly.
Right.
Yes.
Fascinating. Is there a website where people can go and they can maybe see a list of the changes that have been made so that they can try and
More
get
than
themselves
likely,
ready?
they will be able to post that, but we communicate directly with the housing office, and they tell us, these are your guidelines, these are your forms, you have to comply prior to any inspection.
All right. And that is why Google was invented. So you can find that
Yes.
kind of information in a timely manner.
That's
Thank you
right.
so much.
You're
All
welcome.
right. Information you can use from Liz and the fine crew at RE/MAX Diamond Realty Guam. Stay tuned, everybody. We are back after this.